Hi there, it's Andrew from Park Islands Boat Sales. This is something a little bit different. I'm on what could be probably only described as a gentleman's trawler yacht. A little bit like a baby Nordhaven, that's a good way to describe this. It is a really cool little boat. It's 36 feet long. It is designed as a long distance cruiser. So it's designed to do 7-8 knots at cruise, but in 7-8 knots, you can go about 1,000 miles. So it's got a huge capacity, 1,200 litres of fuel, and it's a really, really nice boat. The fit out on it is beautiful. It's got a really, really high specification. It's got things like fuel polishing systems, totally upgraded Raymarine's navigations, and basically it's just a really, really cool boat, and it's something completely different. So I hope you enjoy watching this. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We're so pleased that the numbers are going up. We're nearly at 15,000 subscribers. So if you like these sort of videos, want to see more, tick the button, press the bell, all those things that young people do, and subscribe to the channel. Keep watching, we'll show you the walkthrough tour next. So this is the interior space, and it's a really cool place to be. So this boat really is designed at spending long periods of time on the water. That's exactly why the owner bought this boat. He wanted to spend extended trips, go down to the Med, explore areas. Sadly, life has changed slightly for him, so he's not able to do that, so the boat's on the market. But it has got a really lovely feel. I talk quite a lot about that sort of boat feel where you want to sit down, do some work, spend time, enjoy the boat. This is one of those boats. The moment I stepped on board it, it felt like that. The quality, the fit out on this also looks really exceptional. The woodwork is beautiful. This is a boat which came out of a Taiwanese boatyard, renowned for building boats such as the Traders. So really good quality boats, exceptional woodwork finishing, and it feels very, very nice. In terms of accommodation, you only have one cabin on board this boat. It's a large cabin at the front with its own ensuite. But this boat really is aimed, I would suggest, at a couple going away for extended trips. But you can convert things like this sofa area here. That can be converted into a separate bed area. So if you do have guests on board, you've got another area for sleeping accommodation. The upholstery is all really comfortable. In fact, it's the same upholstery, sad little fact here, that the Broom 430 that we had a few years ago, Capella, that had this. It's got a really soft, nice feel to it. I don't think it's leather, I think it's a faux leather, but if it is leather, it feels amazing. So it's really, really comfortable. This is a nice little space here. I would say it's really a table for 4, but you've got a really nice space all the way down there that you get probably another 4 people alongside there. So a nice social boat for days out as well. The floor is all a teak and holly floor. There are carpets that run the whole length through, which softens the whole interior as well. But to be fair, I like the traditional feel of this floor. So I suggested when we got on board, take the carpet up. I want to see the proper floor. So that looks really, really nice. There's tons of storage space on board this boat. I mentioned about the fact that this is the sort of boat that you can take down to the Med, really go exploring and go long distances. All the way under there, there's cupboards throughout the whole of that bench seat. So there's cupboards all the way down there. There's drawer cupboards in here. Basically, everywhere you look, everywhere there's a surface, there's space to put things. It's really sensible. Even up here, you've got a little spice rack in there. So when you're cooking on the hob, you've got your spices and everything handy. Grab handles, so beautifully polished wood grab handles here. So if you're in any rough seas, you can move around the boat with ease as well. In terms of the galley, it's an up galley, so you've got beautiful view all the way around. I've never seen a hob quite like this. I don't really know how to describe this. I guess it works well. I've not used it. But it's a 3-burner hob there. Looks like it's electric. This boat is fitted with a generator, so the generator can provide power when you're out at sea, as well as also having a very good inverter system. So the batteries go through an inverter to convert the battery power into 240 volts. And just talking a little bit more about that fuel polishing system, this all hints towards this boat being very, very self-sufficient. You've got an inverter system, you've got a generator, you can spend days and days at sea on this boat, and a fuel polishing system. For those that you don't know, sadly Jonathan's not with me today, but he would explain far better than I would do, and perhaps we should do a separate video on that one. Fuel polishing is we're basically cleaning the fuel. So diesel is susceptible sometimes to get diesel bug, and a fuel polishing system basically cleans the diesel as it goes through the system. So you can make sure you remove any diesel bug before it gets into your engine, clogs up your filters, and ultimately stops your engine. This is a 1-engine boat, so while you can do long distances on it, you want to make sure that your fuel is in perfect condition, and that's what that system does. Onto the helm, single helm position. You've got a little seat here, so if you're not so tall, you've got a better height. You've got equipment up here, so you've got a Raymarine autopilot, so there's a P70 head up there. You've got a windometer as well, so if you're out into really rough seas, you want to know what the wind's doing, that'll tell you. Your battery system is isolated up here, and then bow and stern thrusters. So as I mentioned, this boat really does have a high specification. Bow and stern thrusters both controlled from here. Beautiful big steering wheel, look at that. You don't get that on a Fairline, do you? That's a proper steering wheel there, and it does add to that feeling this really is a gentleman's yacht. Engine controls, so nice clicky Morse controls. Do you know, I've never driven a boat which has got these controls, but I will take this boat out at some point. But in simple terms, you have a gear, so you click the boat in and out of gear here, and this provides your throttle. So it's a nice simple system. Sometimes we see twins and you've got 4 levers on those. That's certainly get me confused. But on the single, it's nice and simple, in and out of gear, and then your revs. Nice, easy to see visibility on the revs. I've mentioned before on videos with the Cummins engines, we've done a few videos recently with Cummins engines. This is the 5.9 litre, 230 horsepower Cummins engine in here. The dials are actually Mercury, so Cummins have done a deal with Mercury, and that's why you have Mercury dials on Cummins engines. Other things like battery monitoring, you've got a little Victron battery monitor gauge down there for both the house and the engine battery, and then that also tells you what the charger is doing at any time. What's that? Yes, forward-facing sonar. So the boat is fitted with a forward-facing sonar, which is pretty rare. So it just with that view of you nestling into little coves, little bays that perhaps you're unfamiliar with, the forward-facing sonar will alert you if there's any dangers under the water. Side access door is really nice, and you'll see when we step out in a second, actually because the deck is so recessed, you properly feel enclosed around here. A bit like a super yacht or gentleman's launch. How many times can I say that in a video? It should be a drinking game. Right, let's jump out. So step out of here, you've got good handrails and guardrails all the way around. So if you are moving around this boat when you're at sea, it's nice and safe and easy to do so. A couple of steps up here. Don't know why, but I'm feeling like Jaws. I'm feeling like that scene in Jaws where they've got that big fishing boat and you can sort of stand on the bow and survey the sea in front of you. It is an amazing view from up here. You've got a bowsprit, the anchor's off at the moment, but obviously chain goes into there, and a very cool Samson post. So full polished stainless steel Samson post here. Operation for the bow, for the anchor winch is just here on the foot, and you can also operate that from the helm positions as well. That's some covers there, so what you can do to aid privacy, because it's very open, all the curtains can close up, and then you've got a cover shade there that goes across that front window, and then a little cover on the hatch there to keep the light out from the cabin. But it's really, really just a nice, comfortable space. And again, in a marina, just being able to sit down here. In fact, I would be probably tempted to put some cushions on the top here and just utilise this space, because it really is a pleasant place to be. So let's carry on walking back down. You've got side access door as well to get access to the pontoon, so you can just see that down there. It does narrow a little bit as you go down. Then handholds all the way around, and then we come back to the stern area. Doing this a bit backwards and forwards today, so we'll go back inside and show you the cabin a bit later. This rear space is a really nice space, very good for fishing, so if you're into deep sea fishing or anything, this would be great. Easily could have a pair of deck chairs, table chairs out here. Doesn't have covers at the back, which actually I quite like, because it means there's no covers to faff about with. But if you did want to extend your living space, a set of covers coming down here would make this space very usable all year round as well. You can see the space down here, it's the same on both sides, and that's got the side access door, so you can step easily onto the pontoon, and it's got that side access door on both of the sides. Access through this hatch here is the lazarette space, so if we just lift that up there, there's quite a few bits and bobs in here at the moment, but you can see how deep it is. So it goes all the way back and all the way to the side. So lots and lots of space there. The owner's doing some maintenance on the boat at the moment, so there's quite a few bits and bobs around, but that's a good amount of space in there. Let's have a little look at the flybridge. So flybridge, nice chunky steps. Again, if you're in a heavy sea, being able to go up and down, but have a good handhold. I think that's probably better than having some form of stairs on this, because you can really hold on and go up to the top. And it is vast up here. Might as well have a dance floor up here. Because of the, yeah, you're struggling there, Nick. One-handed. Thank you, Nick. Up here you have a vast amount of space and an enormous life raft. So that life raft, as mentioned about the offshore capabilities of this boat, very big life raft. So if you were into any difficulties, that will keep you and your family safe. Up here there's cushions which go around here, which make a nice comfortable seating area, and then a helmsman's seat up here, another great big wheel, and then replication of data and information, and a very large 16-inch Axiom Pro plotter, which looks very nice up there. We like our Axiom plotters. So up here there's not too much to report. It's functional. I think the main design of this boat is to do long distance cruising from downstairs, but you do have all the controls up here: bow, stern, thruster, various buttons, start, stop, and of course the Morse controls and windlass controls as well. There's also a bimini up here, so the bimini cover can come across, and that gives you some protection from the sun. So on days when it's beautiful and you do want to be up here, you've got sun protection as well. But there's not much more to report on the Flybridge, apart from the fact that it does have a folding arch as well. So the folding arch is really useful, so if you are going to any inland waterways or canalways, then the folding arch is brilliant because it just folds down and gives you much, much less height on there. Now, to save Nick falling down, I think the best thing is if we cut the video now, and then I'll go back downstairs and then I'll see you downstairs, just to save going down the steps with one-handed. Okay, and safely down from the Flybridge. So behind me you have a big beefy Atlas 1600 crane. That is a very chunky bit of kit. It's electrically operated as well, and the idea of that is that it lifts a tender onto the back. You've got quite a cool system on the back actually, so I've not seen this before. I guess it's quite custom made. The tender chocks fold out, that then allows the tender to sit on, and then this webbing strap is permanently there, so it just clips over the top of the tender to keep the tender nice and safe. So big chunky crane there. We like a big chunky crane, bit of machinery on the back of a boat, and that, as I mentioned, can lift the tender on the back, and could also be used in an emergency. So if you need to get someone back inside as an elderly person, that crane could also be used. So it's an important safety feature as well. Let's go back inside and I shall finish off the interior. Sorry for going a bit back to front today. Talked about the galley space, talked about the helm space. There's only one thing left to talk about, and it's the huge bed and cabin down here. So as we come down, a couple of steps down, this is definitely a Super King. If I take that a second, you can now see inside here there's more storage space all the way around the top here. A very, very large spacious bed. Storage space along, hooks, covers. That's the hatch there, so it's an escape hatch, but you've also got nice air coming down into here. And then this is an ensuite cabin as well. So in here, nice glass. It's a wet room, so it's designed that the shower comes out of there, goes up onto the wall, and then there's a curtain that could pull around, or you can just turn this into a complete wet room. So it's a nice size shower space there. I just need to move a few things when you are having a shower. Let's come back down on that. There's more locker space there as well. And then the last thing just to show you is access to the engines. Now, engine access is amazing on this boat, which is great. Again, if you're on a long distance trip, you need to quickly get down into the engines to sort any issues out. And you access the engines simply by lifting up these little hatches. And the engine access is brilliant. Look down there. Love the fact that you've got things like walkways there above the shaft, so you can inspect the shaft very, very easily. The engine's presented in very nice condition. It's done around about 1,000 hours. The owner's even got some fishing rods suspended down there, which is quite a good place to put them. But all of these hatches lift up all the way along, which gives you access to the engines at pretty much every single level. So wherever you look, even if you go down into this one, easy access to the seacocks. Seacocks are straight down in front of you. All of the Raymarine brains, systems, circuitry is all very, very easily accessible. Let's pop that back down there. So it's a very, very practical boat, but as I say, it's a boat that's designed to do long distances, and it's a boat that's very capable to do those distances. In terms of the fuel consumption, I mentioned earlier about 1,000 hours and 1,000 miles. So it does roughly a litre a mile when it's doing about 6 or 7 knots. Obviously, if you increase that speed, then you're going to be getting somewhere quicker, but you're going to be increasing the fuel consumption. So it's always going to be a trade-off, but do all those checks and balances. An important thing when you first get this boat is do some good testing to make sure you know exactly what your fuel capacity is. But that's the sort of guide that the owner has been working to. I think I've covered most things. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's a completely different boat, but we're delighted to get the phone call. The person who was selling this boat said they wanted us to be involved, wanted us to do the walkthrough tour, show this boat in really the sort of use it could have, which is multi-used, but it feels really nice. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you like this boat. If you are interested in this, the boat is currently for sale for a little over £100,000. So I think it's a huge amount of boat for that. So really, you've got a quality built boat, and certainly something that could be used as a liveaboard as well as going long distance travelling as well. So hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember, like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll bring you the next video walkthrough tour very, very soon. Many thanks.